We're back out here again. We're gonna work on getting this fuel tank mounted. I need to get this old battery out, and I'm gonna pull that aluminum plate up and weld crossbars in, so I actually mount. I don't want to mount just that aluminum plate, and it probably work, but you know, there's quite a bit of weight. That's a 15-gallon tank, and it weighs 6 pounds per gallon, so you know, there's 100 pounds or something back there. I'm gonna put steel angle or something across so that tank's actually mounted to, you know, the frame, and that's where we're gonna go. I need to get that piece of aluminum plate out first. All right, I got the battery out, and I'm getting this old wiring out. It's like 30 years old, so we're just gonna rewire the whole thing. We're not gonna trust any of this old wiring. We really don't want to burn the car down, so I got all new, a little costly, but we're just going to run all new wire all the way up. And this is like 8, I think, and maybe, no, this is probably 2 gauge, and I got double aught gauge coming, so we're going to have, you know, 200 amp cable ran up there. We're going to overkill it, but I'm still trying to get this plate out here. So I've added a 1/8 inch thick steel plate up there in the front of the trunk. I got the whole plate cut out now, and I'm gonna weld this in, and it's gonna be my front bolt support for the 2 tabs of the gas tank. And I'm gonna come back and make a second mount, but the second mount is gonna have to have a box cut in it for the, you'll see. But I want to get this one welded in here now, and then work my way back. Alright, I got this all clamped up here. Get the welder on. So we're going to come through here and weld that bar in. That piece of flat stock. They give me something solid to bolt to. It's not going to break. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Alright, I got that piece of flat stock there welded in, and I went up underneath there and welded it too, so that thing's not coming out. Not easy. We're going to go ahead and measure out for the, might hit it with a grinder just to knock it down just a hair on the top, but we're going to go on out and put the next, and it's probably going to be a piece of angle, the next piece is. Alright, we're going to start working on the front mounts, but something cool happened. I was able to get Dad's initials on a vandy plate coming. There'll be a space in here for the junior, but we got his initials. That's what he wanted, and it was open. So now I'm going to start making the front mount, or the rear mount. Yeah, the rear mount here. So need to come out with an angle and pick up these holes, and then come over here, and I'm gonna bring the trunk up here with a piece of steel, I think. And then I got stuff to mount with 1/4 inch bolts instead of sheet metal screws all the way around. So alright, I'm gonna get started on making this mount. Alright, I got 1/8 inch flat stock mocked up here. I'm going to tack this in, and then I got a center bar, and I'm going to build a box up there so it's easy to get to those lines. But I'm going to go ahead and weld this all into the frame. Between that front one and these back ones, this tank's going to be solidly mounted in here, so it'll make me feel better. And I may just use the piece of aluminum to go over it, but we'll see. I'm going to get this welded up now. Alright, I got everything welded, and then we fabbed up this fuel tank mount here. So the inside of those bolts are welded on, so you just can easily nut it on and off there. And so the fuel tank's mounted, fuel pump's mounted, the fuel tank is mounted, and everything's welded there other than that fuel pump bracket. I gotta take the fuel pump off weld that bracket up. And we're going to take the fuel tank out, put the piece of aluminum back in, and mark it out for that center sump that's in there and cut it out. Then we got a piece to go in there so you can get your hand up in it. So you'll see. Alright, I've welded a box in there, and we got the holes drilled for the mounts. And you can see here, that box allows you to get up there and, you know, put the fittings on and off. And we drilled a hole here for the fuel pump to go through, and we'll put edge trim on that and everything, and you know, kind of water tie seal it a little bit. But the fuel pump will go through, and the wiring will be done in the inside, so that wiring won't be outside. And we got the fuel tank now mounted real good. So what we're going to do is blow it all apart now, and spray paint this stuff. And the aluminum we may just polish and paint everything else orange. Alright, so I cleaned up that aluminum and I gave it kind of a, I guess they call it a brush look or whatever, but so I'm going to pull it up and get it all painted underneath, all that the structure that we put in, and then put everything back together. Alright, I got everything painted orange here that I welded in. I'm going to start bolting the stuff back in now. Alright, so I've put all new sheet metal screws in and screwed this piece of aluminum down, and then I got door edge trim around all the open areas. And then I put a grommet in here for the fuel pump so it sticks up. And then I got the fuel pump bolted up to its mount with 9-lock nuts. And I'm going to put the fuel tank in now. I'm going to take a grinder and cut them off. I don't want them hanging out through there, but it's bolted on. Fuel pump's bolted on. I'm going to bolt the tank in now. Alright, so I've put foam on the bottom of the tank here. That way it's not riding against that other piece of aluminum. So it's just strip foam, 3/8 of an inch thick, 3/4 inch wide. You buy it at any hardware store. Basically it's for a door seal. Alright, so now I'm going to put that down, and then I got rubber. I'll show you. It's going to go under that, so it's going to be rubber mounted on the feet too. Alright, work gives me these. They get all these by it's a waste for them, so they gave me, I got 4 of those stacked up underneath there. I'm down against the foam and I'm down against the rubber, and that tank is now in there. I think it's looking pretty good. So she's coming along. I got the fuel pump mounted, got the fuel tank mounted. I'm probably going to call it for the day. Plumbing hasn't got here yet. I got a bunch of stuff ordered. This looks like it's going to work out pretty well though. So fuel pump's in there. You go down underneath. You know, I got all the mounts that we made, and it's real easy to, because of that piece I made, it's real easy to come in here and put the fittings on, and it's going to come hard line over right into the fuel pump, and hard line fuel pump out to the, you know, to the front. I got a fuel line regulator, and I got a fuel filter. I was going to put the fuel filter up front. I may change my mind. On my car I put it back here, so I got some mounts for it. I may hard line out into the fuel filter, and then before the pump, the fuel filter will be there, and then run on out. Alright, if you like this kind of stuff, check back in. Have a nice day.